All right, you're asking yourself, what's a regular guy like you doing reading a book with a title like this? Uh, well, first off, I got to tell you, it's not a religious book. I mean, it's got Archbishop and so on in the title, and it features a couple of priests in New Mexico during the second half of the 19th century. But what happened to me was that a week or so ago, I ran out of things to read. I couldn't find anything that was new, that was available, that was really grabbing my attention. So I recalled having read this book a long time ago, and my recollection was I kind of liked it. So I figured, all right, pick it up, read it, see what you think. And what I think is it's a pretty good book. Now, like I say, it's about two priests. It's about New Mexico in the second half of the 19th century. And what Willa Cather does is she traces these two guys over this period of, 38 years. And she uses it as a vehicle, or uses their story as a vehicle to talk about the people who inhabited New Mexico, the Indians, the Hopi and the Navajo, the Spanish settlers, the Spanish grandees, some Americans, including, who's this, Kit Carson. And she describes a lot of the landscape, the weather, and so on. And she's quite frankly taken with it. I mean, she recognizes the danger that the landscape poses, but she really appreciates the beauty that's in it. And the story goes from Santa Fe to Albuquerque to Taos to a place called the Acoma Mesa. And in a way, the way she writes about New Mexico reminded me a lot of Louis L'Amour. She does great treatments of the people that these two priests meet along the way. They're very interesting, and there's no central plot to this. It's sort of a narrative in the sense that it starts in 1850 and it ends in 1888. But it's more like a bunch of episodes or vignettes, and those things allow her to do the descriptions that I just described. Now, the book has really no, I'm going to call them hard edges or anything like that. She's not really critical of anybody except, a few people who are obviously either threatening or totally corrupt. But on the whole, she paints a nice picture of people, and it ends up being a nice story. When I got to the end of it, I said to myself, gee, I kind of like it. It felt kind of good. And I saw David McCullough once on, I think on YouTube, where he was talking about Willa Cather, and he says the thing that sticks with you on Willa Cather's books is the feeling that they give you. And I've got to say, I think he nailed it, even though it's pretty tough to put exactly that feeling into words, but it's a very, very satisfying experience, I think, to read this thing. So anyway, that's this week's review. It's certainly it's not going to be for everyone, but I think you might give it a try. I found it quite enjoyable. You might too. See you next week.